Hi, I'm Jenny Robertson, founder of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine. Welcome to Connections on Purpose. Whether you're here with us live on Zoom, joining us on Facebook, or watching later on YouTube, I'm glad you're here. This is your time to slow down, fill up, and connect with other heart-centered women who are making a difference in the world. I'm blessed to have one of those women with me today, and that is Andrea Hylen. Andrea, I'm going to tell you about Andrea in just a moment, but Andrea is also just such a dear friend and a supporter of this community. And every time you speak, Andrea, I learn something. So I'm so happy you're here today. And Andrea is speaking on listening, developing self-trust and inner knowing. Andrea is a writer, a coach, an ancestral lineage healer, healing practitioner, and psychopomp guide. She's the founder of Heal My Voice and the Incubator, an online co-working space for women creatives that supports the process. She's the mother of three adult daughters and a deceased son, and lives a house-free lifestyle with a mailbox in Los Angeles. This is her way of embodying the possibilities of a sharing economy. Andrea, thank you so much again, and you are on.
Thank you. Thank you, Jenny. And I appreciate our friendship and the opportunity to connect with amazing women in the community. I just want to say to everyone who was at the meeting today, I really appreciate you being here because things that I'm saying today, each one of you already has meditative practices. Each one of you already embodies some of the words that I'm going to share. But today I want to just giving us a space to have awareness and to see each other, to witness how we are navigating the world right now. So I'm going to share a few stories, and in between some of the stories, we're just going to pause for a minute or two and practice together, be together in this space. Um, So I was quietly entering the day on March 1st when I closed my eyes and just I took a few breaths and paused. And then I felt these words rising in the space. Meditate for 1 hour every day this month. So I just stayed in the pause. I kind of scanned my body to feel into this idea of meditating for 1 hour for the next 31 days. And I waited to listen a little bit more to notice how that felt. After a few minutes, I said, okay, tell me more, because I am not sure that sitting for an hour meditating every day is going to work while I am living in my daughter's home for a few months with my daughter, son-in-law, two grandkids, ages 1 and 3, and two big, loud dogs, and also having a business. Like when, and even with the habit of waking up at 4 a.m., it just didn't make sense to me to spend an hour meditating. It felt stressful. Meditation or meditative practices have been a part of my life really since the 80s. And even as a child, daydreaming and creativity I see as meditative practices. And for the past few years, I have been practicing pausing throughout the day instead of a longer meditation. Like, I like pausing because it helps me to return to myself and reset between work meetings, between playtime with my grandkids. It only takes a few minutes and it can be done with eyes open or closed. Pausing might be spending a few minutes breathing and looking out the window at a bird or a tree, or standing up and just moving my body, just like shaking it out, shake it out. It might be closing my eyes for a minute and just imagining a cloth, kind of like wiping my mind clean, the way you would take an eraser on a chalkboard and just have this blank space for creating, listening. Pausing to me is a practice of being silent, emptying my mind, and then returning to the next part of my day, the next thing on my list or next appointment. So here I was on March 1st, guided to meditate for an hour. And as I listened for an answer to my, tell me more about this clarity appeared to meditate for 15 minutes, 4 times per day. Now, that made sense to me because I could feel the purpose in it. I could feel that I was ready to have some like empty and create space for fresh ideas that would support where I'm going next in my business and personal life. I was finishing the last few calls with women who had been in the incubator since October. So we'd had 5 months of I was plugged in every day to the projects that women were working on, projects I was working on. And I was also finalizing the details around my book release, which will come on June 9th of this year. So I was questioning how I wanted to release my book. And it felt like a soft launch instead of a big celebration with bells and whistles. But I wasn't really sure what that would look like. So I could feel the wisdom of just create more space to empty and clear out my expectations, clear what I think I know, open new ideas, and a vision. And that felt more manageable and it made sense. And I want to say that even when we have like a crazy idea or this insight to do something that we're resistant to a little bit, like it has to have a layer of logic and desire in it. There has to be something that says, yeah, okay, I could see something about this that makes sense for me. So let's just define meditation as a way to clear your mind and listen. Let's just have it be a big, broad, clear your mind and listen. And when you clear your mind, it gives space to for a couple of things. One, there may be a dialogue running in the back of your mind that is full of limitations and fear. And you clear your mind, and all of a sudden that voice gets louder and you can hear it. And then you, with awareness, you can make changes with that. And that's a whole other talk. But I'll just say that there are things that you can do. But you could also hear a voice that's trying to bring you an answer to a question that you keep asking and grasping for an answer. So if you just clear the mind, you could hear that answer to the question you've been pondering. You may even receive guidance or answers, and I know that was one of the things that came up in the things that we were sharing in our group before I started talking, was how, answers and guidance can just appear during meditative practices or by having some space where you're just, you know, things that maybe you weren't hearing or sensing, but by focusing in, you begin to see ideas pop in unexpectedly. Meditation can be a traditional practice. It can be sitting on the mat. It can be, there could be a mantra. The thing I wanted to highlight today is really what was part of our conversation earlier in our group, and that is that there are activities that I like to call meditative practices. And really, it could be something like you are a runner and you like to run, and by not putting in any kind of noise or music or anything, you are clearing your mind in that running practice. I am not a runner, so I did not use that as an example in any of mine, but it did come to me that I know people who clear their mind by running. So, you know what? Let's just pause for a moment and let's experience a moment of being quiet together. Okay, I was going to time this so we really do have a minute. I love a timer. I just want to say I love a timer. So I just invite you to have your eyes open or close. I'm going to place my hand on my heart and take a few slow breaths. And as you breathe, pause and listen. Be with the silence and stillness and just focus on your breathing and listen. So I'm going to put the timer on for 1 minute and let's do it together. Well, that loud noise, I don't know if anyone could hear that. The doorbell rang, but that was actually the timer. That was 1 minute. So I was like, okay, there we go. Um, so let me take a breath on that. So in this brief moment of pausing, what I wanted to say was you returned to yourself. You returned to, and in the connection to yourself, you're also connecting to something that is referred to as a third. For some people, it might be God, Goddess, all that is. It is a field of energy. It is universal intelligence. So we're here connected, connecting deeper to ourselves, and also that brings in this other energy. So anyway, that's just something to think about with that too. Pausing throughout the day, even for a minute or two, and I know Kay Miller brought that up too about just being still and not doing anything. Just as a minute or two of pausing, when you transition from one before transitioning from one activity to another, it can calm your nervous system. It could get you out of your long list of to-dos that you're carrying in your mind and give you a fresh perspective. Sometimes that pause and just wiping the slate clean can help you remember something that wasn't on your list that you had forgotten because you have created the empty void space where all things are possible. In a world where you have access to information 24 hours a day, powered by AI and everyone else's ideas and opinions, returning to yourself will help you return to your own inner knowing and help you to make choices and decisions. And really, this is how you build trust in yourself. It was one of the things that I thought was so evident as women were sharing in the group, how the practices of either meditation or some kind of creativity process or walking in nature, these meditative practices, is about building the trust in yourself and in your own inner guidance and being able to distinguish between what is fake, what is being generated by someone else as the truth when it isn't. So you can begin to listen to yourself even more. Okay, circling back to meditative practices, I just want to say that it turned out that I did this all March and April, but some of the things that I would do as what I called meditation, sometimes I would just pause and I would stare out the window and I would feel a connection to something that I saw outside the window, a tree, a bird, just pausing and feeling the connection between myself and something else, which also creates this third energy. And sometimes I would notice that I was feeling agitated, and I hadn't even realized it until I just stopped to connect and paused. And that agitation, I could then figure out what was going on, if there was something else to do, or maybe I just needed a deeper breath and to let something go. Sometimes I would feel calm right away. And I feel like that is the key to the meditative practices is to feel a connection to your breath, a connection to the bird, the sky, a connection to a sensation in your body, even one that creates a little discomfort. Just connecting to that agitation can begin to dissolve it in a way. The somatic practice of orienting in a new environment can build a sense of safety, and it can also inform you about other feelings and sensations that are running through your body. And I want to just say that you can also, someone had mentioned guided meditations. And if you have a little bit longer time you want to do that, you could go to YouTube and search for heart coherence meditations, gentle music, crystal balls. Sound can be a great way to clear, to shift your perspective, to disrupt what you were thinking about. In 2010, the year before I founded Heal My Voice, I had a morning routine that included 5 minutes of meditation, just being still, pausing, 5 minutes of Tai Chi, 5 minutes of journaling, and then I would walk 10 minutes to the coffee shop and I would write for a few hours. And my afternoon practice later in the day involved a 1 hour walk during which I carried a small notebook and a pen, and I would just listen to nature and to inspiration from a higher wisdom. And if I had an insight, I would write it down so I could then let it go and be open, not feeling like I had to hold on to that idea, but actually just writing it down. 6 months after starting the practices, I was walking one morning when I heard the words, "Heal my voice." And that I knew was what I had been waiting for. That was the word. Those were the words. And all of a sudden I felt women in different parts of the world coming together to write stories. And it was Heal My Voice. And so it opened a door to the work that I do now with holding space for women creatives and writers, artists, entrepreneurs, women who want to create together. One tip I want to share with you is that if you increase meditation or pausing and more of it is sitting in stillness or feeling kind of in almost like connected to a different realm, add in some practices that help you connect with your body and ground energy into the earth. So taking a walk is one way to help you connect with your body. I was going to do a grounding, but I think I'm just going to move on and complete this time so that we can have time to speak. And there's two other stories I want to tell you quickly. So as I said, during March and April, I meditated for almost an hour a day, and I did go for walks where I connected with nature in silence without listening to podcasts and all. I also practiced something called the tea mind, where there's a Japanese tea ceremony tea is served very consciously. There's a whole tea ceremony around it. Well, I was using the tea mind to be more conscious in my day-to-day routines. And that might be washing dishes slowly, consciously, more connected to the dishes, the soap, the water. Um, Sometimes I would lay out my clothes on my bed in the morning and I would get dressed in slow motion. And I would just feel the sensation of the clothing that I was putting on my body, what that felt like, and just being so much more conscious. Brushing my teeth in slow motion, washing my face as if this is the most, which it is, the most precious, precious thing, you know, placing my hand and just slowing it down to be more connected to my body. Um, by day 4, I began receiving a lot of ideas for my life and my business. Synchronicity was increasing, but instead of getting busy, I just wrote the ideas down and I saw them as seeds, little seeds that were beginning to surface, and that I was going to plant some of them, and some were just ideas that led me to the next idea. So possibilities that could grow into something new. And then out of the blue, at the end of March, I had an opportunity to pet sit for 2 cats for 2 weeks in Hamden with me and the cats in a quiet house. And it's a place in Baltimore that I love. And during the 2 weeks, there was even more space to be empty and plant seeds and finish the final editing of my book. And I just feel like I'm on the threshold of change. And just as Kay was mentioning, and Lilia also put us into a beautiful meditative, quiet space earlier today. I want to acknowledge her too. But that this is a time, I really feel it, that there is being a hermit. There's something about the energy of allowing ourselves to have some of that, to be still and just, um, you know, the cultivation of a blank canvas and collect the clues without needing to put something into action. So, listening with meditative practices is a way to develop self-trust and learn about how your inner knowing communicates with you. And I'm just going to finish with Melissa Henry spoke at the Columbia, Maryland meeting last week and on Friday, and she was talking about women leading with conviction, clarity, and the courage to use their influence for good. And the first tip that she shared with us was to be clear on your point of view. What is your point of view? And I know several of you were there with me, but I just want to highlight that one. Not your neighbors, not your partners, not what ChatGPT says, not your parents, not your siblings, your colleagues. What is your point of view? And then you can notice where you feel the same or where you feel different, and you can explore that. But having meditative practices, a walk in nature, drawing, painting, dancing, being still, just letting your mind be empty, 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 empty. It'll help you build your own inner core of strength and grounding. And I've been thinking about how I am entering a new decade this fall when I turn 70 years old. And I'm curious about this next decade. I'm taking time to reflect on all that has led me here. But I wonder at 70, what is my point of view about the world and the tools we need to navigate our day-to-day lives? So I'm listening and being curious about what is possible. So I'll just a few sentences, I'll end this, but I do want to say that Melissa Henry also spoke in February 2026. If anyone wanted to hear her talk, which I'm sure is a variation of what she did on Friday, because we're in the moment with what's happening with the group that we're in. But you can look for Melissa Henry on the YouTube channel of On Purpose Woman Global Community. Anyway, if you're listening to this recording on YouTube, then you're already there. Just look for Melissa Henry. So I just encourage you to take the time to say hello to your inner world and ask for guidance. Build and rebuild a connection to your heart and your body. Use your imagination to create meditative practices, your own practices that feel nourishing for you. Live in the questions and create space for answers to emerge from within you and be mirrored back by the world around you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Jenny, for giving me the space to speak today. And just thanks to everyone in this amazing group. Keep doing the practices that you're doing and use your imagination to shake it up a little. Clear it, be empty. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Andrea. Wow, I got some new things, took a couple of notes. Thank you so
Okay,
much for
good.
that. And I'd like to ask those of us who are here with us on Zoom to unmute yourselves and let's give Andrea a little bit of our appreciation. You know how to do that. You can clap, you can
I'll
Yeah.
clap for you.
yell, you can go, yay, girl. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
Thank
great.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tears in
And I
my
want
eyes
to,
on a lot of things.
oh, good, good. Oh, that's the whole point, isn't it, Andrea?
Mhm.
Food for
Yeah.
thought. Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you to anyone who's joining us live or catching the replay. If you want to look for, let me start that over. If you want to join us for future Connections on Purpose gatherings on Zoom or in person in Columbia, Maryland, or explore On Purpose Woman magazine, go to my website, which is opwgc.com. And that link, as well as the link to Andrea, which is andreahylen.com, is in the text of this video. On my website, you'll find opportunities for inspiration, connection, and growth, both personally and professionally. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, stay connected, stay on purpose, and take those pauses when it feels right. Thanks so much, y'all.